NFL franchise and change the program.
Sanders, end zone, caught!
If that's not what you're trying to do, don't give me.
Oh, he hit him with the sauce. Touchdown!
I'm the most guaranteed person you can take.
The NFL draft is now only 4 days away, and even though nobody knows exactly where we'll see quarterback Shedeur Sanders next season, we do know he ain't hard to find. He also apparently hasn't been hard to criticize. He's been called brash and arrogant, unprofessional, and disinterested. To me, that can be translated as confident. Dan Orlovsky explains the reason he should be going into draft day.
It's Shedeur Sanders' time, and he was the only quarterback to finish in the top 5 in touchdown passes, passing yards, and completion percentage in 2024, and he excelled despite a suspect offensive line. Sanders dealt with absolute chaos up front and was sacked an FBS high 94 times in the last 2 seasons. Defenses brought the heat, but he responded with 14 touchdown passes against the blitz last season, 9 more than he had in 2023. Shedeur's game relies on rhythm and timing, and he's flawless with a clean pocket. He completed 82% of those passes on plays when he wasn't pressured last season. Best in the FBS and the only quarterback over 80%. He's at his best throwing receivers open with anticipation and led the FBS in completions to open targets in 2024. With solid offensive line play, Sanders will be the ultimate point guard in the NFL.
It's Easter Sunday here on SportsCenter. Kind of feels like Christmas Eve, though, for NFL insider Jeremy Fowler on draft week. Jeremy, you talked to us about Shedeur Sanders yesterday, said his Giants workout went well. He's in play to go 3rd overall. Let's say he gets past New York. Giants go with, like, Abdul Carter. What are you hearing about where Sanders might get picked?
Phil, there's not a clear-cut home for Sanders right now when I ask people around the league. The Saints at number 9 have done a lot of work on the quarterback. Certainly that could be in play there, but not a lot of momentum that Sanders would be the pick at 9. Steelers have some love for Sanders, picking at 21. They don't have a second-round pick, though, and they have some defensive needs. Same with the Rams. No second-round pick. Do they go quarterback? There's just not a lot of momentum right now or buzz that he has a surefire hit, other than most around the league do expect him to go fairly high in the first round. Now, keep in mind as a back pocket item, Cleveland Browns, they do like Shedeur Sanders' sort of computer mind, his ability to process at the line of scrimmage. Can they keep the Colorado party alive if they go Travis Hunter at 2 and then use one of their 9 remaining picks to try to move back into the first round? So that could be the play potentially with Cleveland. You know, if they could at least do it, it's feasible.
Yeah, with that pick at the top of the 2nd round. And they're part of the reason we have a few other QB prospects moving up the draft board. If you can get that 5th-year option, so valuable if you hit on somebody round 1. What more can you tell us about the rumblings around the league with some of those guys, Jalen Milroe among them?
Yeah, Jalen Milroe going into this, probably the most polarizing quarterback prospect. He's looking at this as sort of an early day 2 proposition, but he could sneak into the late first round if somebody loves him enough. A lot of teams have done serious homework on him. He probably has the highest upside if you can get around the accuracy issues. But I talked to his quarterback coach, Jordan Palmer. He said they've been working for the last year on just the fluidity, connection to the ground, which he believes will help him at the next level, that he's a very high achiever. So this is a guy where if you could stash him for a couple years and play him, high upside. And you got Jackson Dart. So I've asked multiple execs around the league, do you expect him to go in the top 15 picks? They say they don't expect it, but they wouldn't be surprised. And so that intrigued me. There's at least some buzz that he could go pretty early. Saints have done a lot of work on Jackson Dart. He's got some love in the Steelers building, but he's largely looked upon as sort of a late first, early second round type pick. So we'll see if he can overachieve a little bit. And you got Tyler Shuck. He's getting some buzz here out of Louisville. He worked out for the New York Giants yesterday. So this is a team, the Giants, that are looking at their options where if they can't go quarterback at 3, they want to try to get one day 2 or maybe even move up. Shuck appears to be in that mix. The Saints obviously actually like him as well. So he's a quarterback with the size, the arm strength that has intrigued teams.
And the concern about Shuck is his age. He's 25.
Yeah.
Same question last year about Bo Nix. Through 1 year, it's gone okay in Denver.
No doubt.
Jeremy Fowler, thanks so much.
Thanks, Phil.
Where the Buffaloes have holes to fill. The NFL draft is less than a week away, and the headliners include Colorado standout Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter. But what remains in Boulder is head coach Deion Sanders, who is back to work after a 9-4 record last season and a loss in the Alamo Bowl. Turn the page now to 2025 as Colorado's first spring game kicks off in a couple of hours. Matt Berry has taken his talents from Augusta to Boulder, where he joins us from the altitude ahead of the Buffalo spring game. And Berry, the obvious question here is, how does Colorado and Deion Sanders move on from two players that are going to be at the top of the NFL draft in a few days?
Yeah, well, you don't. I mean, you don't move on from two top 10 picks. We were spending time with them yesterday, and it's 4,200 yards from Shedeur. He's going to be one of the top quarterbacks drafted, and then 1,200 yards receiving from Travis Hunter. And it's just hard to replicate and reproduce that production. And both of them are going to be in the NFL. They've taken this program to new heights. But, Shay, here's what I'll tell you. In terms of optimism for what they have coming in, they brought in Caden Salter, transfer from Liberty, played a lot of football. This true freshman kid, Juju Lewis, five-star kid, flipped from USC to come play here with Pat Shermer in Colorado. They love the future of where this kid could be as an all-time quarterback. But in terms of right here, right now, you're losing a lot of offense. 3,300 yards from receivers, gone. 4,200 yards from Shedeur, gone. And so I'd say right now you're not looking to replace those guys at least in year one, but you're going to have to build some stepping stones to get this place back to a 9-win team.
It's two players, but essentially three positions, which is a really odd thing to be in. Expectations now for Coach Prime in year three, what are they?
I'd say if you look across the country, Shane, every college coach and every college program in the country, to me, the biggest storyline is here in Boulder, Colorado, for one simple reason. This is the first time Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, has been a head coach in his career without Shedeur, without Travis Hunter, and without Shiloh. These are three talented players that know how he works and the intricacies within the program. We are going to know in college football two things. One, what kind of program he's building here in Colorado without those three guys. And two, what kind of head coach is Coach Prime without Shedeur and without Travis? This isn't a knock on the guy. He's one of the most brilliant marketers in college football. He took a 4-win team into a 9-win team a year ago. But what is he building, and who is he as a head coach for the first time in his career without his two favorite players in Shedeur and Travis Hunter? And to me, that is absolutely fascinating because he has been the epicenter of college football coaching conversation, the epicenter of college football really in Colorado since he got here 2 years ago. Year three, it's legitimately a reset for him. That talent is gone. Who is he building? What is he building for a program here in Boulder? And how can he replicate the success he started building a year ago? To me, it's fascinating. We're going to find out who he is, and what this program is coming this fall without Shedeur and Travis Hunter.
I mean, Deion Sanders, they were a win and some help away of going to the Big 12 championship game last year. They got the win. They didn't get some help. They were right there knocking on the door. Speaking of needing some help, I mentioned you were in Augusta at the Masters. Now you're there in Boulder. It is snowing today. Did you bring the parka? I mean, how are we preparing for such a weather change?
I drove in a snowstorm from Denver to Boulder yesterday, about 4 to 5 inches. I was just with a